You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we are answering your questions live. You ask a question, Spirit's got an answer. And tonight we're going to explore where life can take us. You know, it's a journey, and every journey has its bumps in the road. And I would say that we've all navigated some bumps in recent times. But as we look to the future, what is your vision? What is your thought? What would you love for the world to be like? I know some people are like, just take me back to the way it was. You know, I could hear that song, The Way We Were. And that makes me think, well, we're not going back there anytime soon. And then I heard this song in my head. I really feel like my angels and my guides were singing to me the other day. And they were singing the song, Name your price, a ticket to paradise. And it's a song that talks about love, and love is the answer. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. And it made me think that, you know, each one of us, we have our own special paradise, even in the midst of this, well, craziness. But there's a price sometimes we have to pay for the paradise. And are you willing to pay the piper? Are you willing to put the time in, the thought process, the visualizations, the intentions, things you have to do to keep yourself sane and safe in this time? What are you willing to do to manifest and shift and make a change in your life? I want to ask you all that because think about what is the thing that you could change. What's in your power? There's so many things that are not in our power at this time. I know that many people are feeling restricted and powerless, and they're just not feeling free. But it's a difficult time to navigate in the world. So how do you look at the script that's out there in the world and do what you need to do in your life to adhere to what is necessary for yourself and for your family, whatever your choices may be? But how do you choose to create that vibe of joy and harmony? How do you create something different? You know, unfortunately, we've gone through many changes. And as they were talking about 9/11 on the news this week, as they do every year as the anniversary, I was looking back at the 20 years that have spanned. And it's been an interesting time. And whether people realize it, things changed dramatically then as well. And we're going through another dramatic change. And as we go through changes, we are always reminded that there are things that are out of our control and that we are not always in the safe container that we would like to be in everywhere we go and with everything that we do. And so now we're creating our own little safe containers of, you know, protecting ourselves and masking, not masking, whatever the story is with all of that. And as you move yourself in the journey of what is good for you, have you stopped to think about how you can find that joy in the middle of what seems like a chaotic, difficult time that is so unexpected? If you had said to anybody last year that you would wake up one day and life would be the way you'd known it to be, and then somebody would be talking about something that seems horrific, but, you know, it's not quite setting in. You're like, okay, there's what going on? Okay. And then bam, in a matter of days after that, the world as you knew it would stop dead in its tracks. And so for many people, when it stopped dead, the first thought was, okay, it's going to be a couple of weeks and then everything will go back to normal. And then 2 months in, everyone was saying, when are things going to go back to normal? And that was what people were looking to recapture, to regain, to go back to the past. And the past is, well, not here for us to access anymore. It's only in our experiences of what we remember from that. And it also makes you look at the fact that there were many things we all took for granted. There are many things we perhaps were not appreciative of. There's a lot of gratitude to be felt for all the experiences we've had and the things we were doing and able to do at the time. And we're in this experience of growing as spiritual beings in a time that is being ruled by conditions in the world. And if you are of the world, then it's difficult to stay connected to the divine, because everything that's going on in the world is ruling your thoughts, your emotions, how you interpret what's happening, and how you can survive and be in this fight or flight mode. And when you're of the divine, it doesn't mean that you don't adhere to rules of the world, but it doesn't govern your thoughts and emotions. It doesn't dictate how you feel inside. The rules of the world are guidelines, but the divine has universal laws that govern the entire universe. And when you're aligned with that force of energy and that energy to manifest and create, you are rendered powerful, as opposed to feeling powerless, as many of us have felt throughout this experience since 2020. And so now we are recalculating our own individual routes. We're redesigning how we interpret our life and trying to find joy in other things. Some people have said they found time in family time, or having playing board games, learning to do more activities outside. Maybe they weren't very outdoorsy, and so suddenly people are outdoors. I see more people riding bicycles and spending time in a different way. And you have to imagine that even though we may not understand the circumstances and the whole story behind how we ended up where we are, because I'm sure there's a good story behind all that, but there's a higher price, a higher power. There's a bigger payout for us if we just line up with the divine. The power that we have is infinite, and the power that we have to reconstruct experiences for ourselves so that we can stay in harmony and stay in balance. You know, the key to staying healthy is staying balanced, is staying in alignment, is maintaining a inner peace and finding joy, happiness and joy. Why is it they say that laughter is the best medicine? A lot of us weren't laughing in 2020. We were like, holy crow, what just happened? I mean, we were like, dun, dun, dun. We were thinking it was like the scene from a horror movie. And there's so many movies that were built around thoughts and ideas that this might be a story one day, but no one ever thinks the movie's going to come to pass. It's a movie. Or was it? Like, you got to ask yourself some questions. So no matter what's going on around you, it's an opportunity to look inside and find your connections and review the memories of what really brought you joy and how you can reevaluate that and reinterpret it into today's times. And look over those memories and pictures of being with family and remember the power of love. Love is the answer. Love is a power that has the power to heal and transform and shift and change so many things in our life. It has the power to bring you joy and to create a bond that becomes invincible if it is truly born of the heart and not born in the fantasy or the idea of what love should be, but of what is a connection, a commitment, a powerful expression of admiration and empathy and kindness and gratitude and an open heart, allowing people to be who they are. You know, there's the story of love is patient, love is kind. We have to remember that love is a key to open up the doors of a new way of being, regardless of the world that we knew, that now has changed, that we are not capable of changing or recalibrating it to go back into time so that we could have the way it was. We are in this energy of we are self-contained. And that was part of the reason of the isolation from a divine point of view. It gave you a time of expression and creativity. Even if you talk to some of the artists, the recording artists, they wrote some of their best material. They were able to do such amazing work during the lockdown, the shutdown, because they couldn't be driven by distraction. And so now we are being asked to step out of distraction and remain in this energy of oneness and creativity and the universal flow. So set your intentions. 2021, 3 blinks of an eye, it'll be done. And I know some of us are saying, well, thank God, because it was 2020 part 2, but it was still another opportunity to grow. And we got to trust that there's a force, there's a power that's going to shift and change some of the story, and things will find a better way of being. But you'll have the power to interpret it within your experience in a way that is harmonious and loving and kind and joyful, and in the power and the energy of faith and truth. Because it is the faith and the truth that will always set you free, and the power of love that will sustain you.